I've also got a segment here on why corporate America is adult daycare. Now, this might be referring to some things that you've seen going around on social media recently. I don't think you've seen any of this.
No, I haven't
So
seen
it should be very interesting because I'm going to be looking at a particular woman's TikTok, which has been going around for demonstrating just the state of corporate America, because it is a good insight into the lifestyles of people, especially in tech, in big metropolitan cities like Chicago, where this woman is based, just to make sure as well, don't dogpile on this woman or anything. I'm not criticizing necessarily her personally. I'm just saying that, you know, the lifestyle that she leads and the lifestyle of these corporate tech types is very telling.
If anything, she's actually done us a service by showing us what it's actually like on the inside of these places. So don't go and
when I tell you how much she earns, please don't get angry.
Yeah.
Please try not to. But first, just like to draw your attention to a premium live hangout that we did last night. It was you and our guest Luke Avery talking about the wisdom of songs.
Yeah, the Song of Solomon. It's remarkable how it feels really out of place. It's one of the books of the Bible, but it's not religious, and it's actually really interesting when you look at the way that people's relationships are now. There's something that has been taken, is the best way to say it. Like there's a sort of depth of feeling to it between, like, there's a romance between two people that you just can't imagine now. You know, it's just such an archaic and like out of time thing that it's just remarkable to go back and study it. But anyway, that was what that was about.
Yeah,
good.
That sounds very nice. It's always good to have Luke in. He's always got a very interesting insight into these things. And I think that old-fashioned romance and romanticism is something that we should all try to reintroduce into our lives.
But there's also timeless observations about the differences between men and women that they're embedded within the text that we go through. It's really interesting.
Of course, I think if you're going to try and be romantic to a woman, you should probably understand what a woman is in the first place.
And the differences between men and women. And
how else are you going to appeal to a woman if you don't? Anyway, check that out if you're interested. Really good content, and I would recommend it. Let's go on. So this is the first thing that I saw regarding this. This person called Cold on Twitter found this TikTok talking about a day in the life of a 22-year-old in tech in Chicago. And it raised a few eyebrows from a few people, because a few people just were myself included, were very surprised just at the level of indulgence.
Bourgeois indulgence.
Yes, that goes on in these companies. Now, this woman works for LinkedIn, and I'll tell you a little bit more about her in a moment after we watch this clip.
Today was one of those days where you leave for work at 7 a.m. and you don't get back until past midnight. I left for work early for a 9 a.m. meeting that was conveniently canceled right beforehand. But luckily I got to the lobby and there were these eucalyptus towels waiting for me, which is really nice, and some fresh orange water, which I of course took before taking the elevator up to the office. I grabbed some breakfast, normal oatmeal and chia seed pudding, and we finally got LinkedIn mugs in the office, which I'm so excited about, and prepped some LinkedIn content. Then I found out that the wall art that we have in the office is made out of recycled trees from Chicago, which was so cool, fun fact. And then it was time for our company all hands, so I grabbed our drink of the day, which is a blackberry mojito, and headed downstairs to the all hands room with some of my coworkers. There weren't that many people there, but listen to them sing Mamma Mia. Anyways, we love that song. We grabbed some lunch because we were starving after that. There was this cool little dish, and I grabbed a chai latte before heading to work. Watched some of my coworkers play ping pong, and then tried out our new quiet room, which is a really nice area to just like relax and unplug from work. Then it was time to buckle down. I had to get certified in our new marketing lab certification on LinkedIn, so I did that and just like sat in our focus area for a while. I grabbed a snack after I was hungry, and then I finished off the rest of my work before getting an email announcing the next team that I'll be joining through my BLP program. It was really exciting news. I'm going to be joining a marketing team.
What work?
Yeah.
I finished on my work.
The
What
question
did you do?
Everyone was asking, what is it that you do exactly? Her entire
It's
day...
literally like Office Space. So what is it you say you actually do here?
Well, she prepped some LinkedIn content, was the most I got from that.
So she copied and pasted a text document to the webpage, right?
Exactly. Well, the thing is that is her full day of work. That's not the end of the video itself, because the
What a
rest of it...
stress-free life she leads.
I know. She was saying, it's one of those days where you wake up really early and then you get back after midnight. Do you know what she did with the rest of her day after that in the video?
She didn't go out drinking, did she?
She did go out drinking with all of her friends. What stress, what difficulty. The fact that she's like, the first thing that happened was the meeting I was in got cancelled, so I don't have to do that. Then I sit around, do a little bit of...
So what did she do for that hour, you know?
Do a little bit of LinkedIn content, and then I sat around watching my mates in the ping pong table room.
Went in the quiet room for a while and pretended that I was in nature, and then got some lunch, got a mojito, whatever.
Rubbed my fingers against these recycled tree boards. That's known as wood. Wood is recycled tree. This table we're sat at is made from recycled tree. Where did you find it, Carl? Incredible. Oh my God, this recycled sand you've got on it as well is absolutely fantastic. She's getting free snacks and towels. Meetings apparently are just optional in attendance, because she went to that meeting, which just seemed to be people singing Mamma Mia.
Yeah, and what was that meeting about? How was that a necessary part of the day?
The interesting is, I'm not going to, expose anyone, but I've kind of worked in a job similar to this before, not quite as, highbrow and fancy as LinkedIn, to the point where they can just give you free orange water and towels that you can wipe yourself with when you come in, because apparently getting around Chicago
gross.
Getting around Chicago would get me in a sweat as well, actually, just from the nerves. Going around any corner. But yeah, it's very strange, but I've worked in a similar kind of job before, where most of your work that you do each day is kind of pretending to do work, and then you just take meeting after meeting after meeting. So even if you have work to do, the first half of your day will be filled up with 3 meetings, which take up 4 hours, making it very difficult to actually get anything done with any real efficiency. But then the work that you're doing is so labor-free in the first place that
hard to identify as work.
Yeah, that you barely have to do anything in the first place. But just to say, not everyone who works in tech is going to lead a lifestyle exactly like this, where it's going to be as easy. But this does not set a fantastic example. And I looked into this, right? Because I went through her TikTok, and I've got a few videos to play. But I found some relevant information for that. She's in a business leadership marketing program at LinkedIn. And she is an intern. Would you like to guess how much she earns an hour?
I want to say $25 an hour.
Actually, 24. So very close.
Okay.
$24 an hour for that. Except she gets bonuses and comprehensive packages for this internship, which bump up her annual salary a bit. Go on, give her annual salary a go. You can guess.
I don't know. $60,000.
70.
God damn it.
$70,000 to do that.
To do what? What do you do around here?
I will say, being that she's in marketing, this might be a stealth campaign to try and encourage people to move to Chicago and start working at LinkedIn, because honestly, that seems like the easiest job imaginable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the rest of her TikTok is filled with, if you want to get into the sort of job that I've done, you need to have this qualification, you need to have done this degree, you need to go have gone through all of these. So it's not going to be, and plus she says that her page is not affiliated with LinkedIn.
Well, yeah, it's a private page.
Yeah, it's a private page. So it might be a stealth marketing campaign just to throw off that criticism first of all. But at the same time, this is absolutely how these people's days go. And there's this other one where her only work in this one is to supervise a film shoot behind the scenes, which, having done that sort of thing in the past, means you sit there and every so often someone turns to you and goes, is it looking all right? And you go, yeah, it's looking fine to me. And that's the work. And then the rest of her day is spent going on a marketing dinner with people. And I understand,
hard on life, isn't it?
I understand that networking and forming business relationships is part of the daily grind for this. But like you said, it's hardly hard work. And then there's this next one that I found where she's talking about the spirit of well-being, where LinkedIn just gives everyone a day off each month for their mental well-being, because apparently the job is so stressful and so difficult.
My mental well-being, I just feel under so much pressure.
Yeah, I don't actually think that certain businesses that probably will be ridiculously stressful probably would be nice to give their employees a day off, maybe randomly once a month, just to let them relax and unwind a little bit. This is not that job. This is not the job that needs that.
This is, there's something about this that is, I mean, everything about her life is artificial, right? Like it's all curated. It's, you know, the glass and steel buildings, the curated park that she goes around with little ducks, all of the brands, the fashion, it just feels like the last days of empire, right?
It really does.
These are the sort of the perfect ones from the Mouse Utopia, who are living just before the complete collapse. That's all I'm seeing here.
Oh, no, and I do have some comments on that I'll get to towards the end, which I think will elaborate on it and sort of agree with you broadly there. But the next one that I got up was this one where she's talking about this work trip to the LinkedIn headquarters. And just play this clip.
Buckle up because this week I went to LinkedIn's headquarters in Sunnyvale, California. This is my first ever work trip and I was here for an offsite with my team. So I checked into my hotel and look at the rooms. This hotel was so nice. They even have Dyson hair dryers and not gonna lie, it almost slipped into my suitcase. So after unpacking, I got ready pretty fast for our first dinner. This was the welcome event and we got to meet everyone on my team in person for the first time. We all got a personalized goodie bag filled with swag like a team sweatshirt and random fidget stuff to use throughout the meeting this week. And this cute little mug. And I posted about the hotel on my Instagram story, and when I came home, I had the cutest handwritten note left for me, and a little mini Theragun, which I used, of course, because my legs were so sore.
You just get free stuff. You already get paid a ridiculous amount with benefits.
Oh, my legs were so sore. Yeah, sure they were.
From all that sitting down,
you know everything about
food.
sore legs.
I mean, honestly, and it's very strange to me that it was at this work meeting to the LinkedIn headquarters the first time that she's meeting all of her team members in person. That just seems like a really weird disconnect to me.
That's fine. That makes sense. But I'm just looking at these. Essentially, these people are like domestic pets. They're like domestic animals, where they're just, you know, they've got everything they need provided to them, right? Everything is just provided to them, and they don't really do anything, and they're sat there like as ornaments almost, you know. It's so weird.
What it reminds me of is American Psycho, because legitimately one of the things that I found interesting watching that film most recently was that Patrick does no work in the whole film. All you ever see him do is sit when he's at work, is sit around in his office listening to music, doodling. And apparently all these people do when they're at work is sit around in offices designed to make you feel nice and calm and eat free food and free snacks that are provided to you.
But look, it's just the way that everything is. It feels fake, right? Like all of the people, like they don't feel authentic, and they don't feel like, you know, they've got like real human connections and things like this, and everything is laid on for them instead of this very curated life.
Yeah, it's very clear to me that it's no wonder that a lot of these people, because we know that a lot of these big tech companies are where a lot of the social justice and progressivism is coming from. And to me, when I look at this, it's no wonder. When your life is so hollow and so empty and devoid of meaning.
All of these comforts are provided to you. You know, you didn't go and get these yourself. No. Someone has provided you with these comforts. And so you're at the center of this network of things that are providing you with, you know, good things. That you are just a pet. You are literally a pet.
So to me, I mean, for
how would you survive outside of this environment?
I know, and how at the same time, John's branded them corporate economic parasites, which...
No, they're corporate economic pets. They're not parasites, they're pets.
Yeah, so no wonder...
Well, sure, but that's LinkedIn's problem.
Yeah, but surely, like I say, it's no wonder these people get involved in progressive causes, because a lot of progressivism,
what else are you gonna do?
if it goes back to Marxism, it's like, well, how are you going to claim that you're exploited? I mean, honestly, how could you claim that you're exploited?
Workers of the world, well, what work have you done?
Yeah, so no wonder they latch themselves onto these virtue signaling movements, because the likelihood is these people probably aren't planning on having kids at all either, because they're all indulging in the progressive ideology. So it's like, well, what am I going to have to leave an impact on the world? I know, my activist protests, my activism.
Even if they had kids, what life lessons would they teach them?
well, what hardship have they been through?
Exactly.
It's very strange because people, when she was talking about the education that she went through to be able to get into a position like this, a load of people in the comments were calling her out. Oh, if you went to this university, you must have had rich parents to be able to do
well,
this.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, so they've basically just replaced their rich parents with LinkedIn.
Yeah,
who are just,
with the corporation that's going to provide them with everything their parents use.
yeah, and you're not even having to do the same level of work that you do if you're at home doing chores, you know?
They've never done chores, come on.
I suppose.
You didn't grow up in a household with a
They've
maid.
never been asked to do the gardening. They've never been asked to even empty the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the
They
next...
get prawn platters.
Yeah, the next clip is...
It's not the same life you and I have led, Harry.
No, it certainly is not. I'm from
know,
the
before there
north,
was-
where it's grim up north.
It never used to be there was a minimum wage, right? In the late 90s, there wasn't a minimum wage. And I had a job. I was living in Cornwall at the time, working in like cleaning nightclubs. And so I've cleaned toilets for like £3 an hour before.
That must have felt dignified.
Well, I mean, it was just
Yeah,
it was
it's a job, you get on with it.
You got on with it. You made money, and it really disabused you of any notions that women were like more clean than men.
Oh, it really did. I mean, I've worked in pubs and had to
Yeah.
do similar things, you know, after the Saturday night. Oh, I guess it's time to clean up for Sunday, and you get given things to scrub the toilet with.
Yeah, but they would act like I'd been oppressed or something. They would consider this a form of, oppression. It's like, well, no, it was just that they were the jobs that were going.
I mean, I suppose comparatively, maybe
It wasn't oppression.
it wasn't oppression, but like
It just wasn't luxury.
Yeah, from their point of reference,
Yeah.
then you must have been like the
Yeah.
Russian serf or
yeah,
something.
yeah, that's how they'd look at it, yeah.
Yeah, and there's this one which goes to show, if you play this clip, it'll show that Google is pretty much the exact same
course
as well.
they are.
Spend the morning at Google's Chicago office with me. Vivian and I are both women in tech, so we toured each other's offices today. It was a lazy Friday morning, so I Ubered to West Loop to Google's office. And it was a beautiful day out. I got there finally. Here's my badge, got a flex. And we immediately headed upstairs to the cafe. I will say their food looked a lot better than our office. The kombucha overflowed, but I got some chai tea. And we headed back down to sit down and take our meetings for the morning. One thing Google also has on us is their view. It's beautiful. So after a morning full of meetings, we had our first mini lunch of the day. I literally just grabbed some potatoes because, a girl's gotta eat. Yum. Say hi to Vivian eating her shepherd's pie. We checked out the game room where you could even use the claw to grab free Google swag. Pretty cool. And there's an actual game, Xbox room, which is even cooler. We don't have that at LinkedIn. And I played some basketball and made my first shot.
Hard life.
I know, very difficult. I've got to say, when she goes through these rundowns of all of these various drinks and foods that she's eating in these places, it's just completely foreign to me. She might as well be speaking French because it's like, never heard of that, never heard of that. All of that in those drawers, Trident gum that you can just pick up, that's just foreign to me.
Such a privileged life.
Yeah, but once again, it seems even at Google that her friend who took her along to do this doesn't have much to do.
Yeah.
It seems
Well,
much
yeah.
the same. Like, all of these jobs seem to be completely interchangeable with just varying degrees of luxury.
But I can't help but notice we're not hearing from the male engineers who underwrite the actual structure of the tech giants. Like, we're not hearing from the code monkeys who presumably spend 12 hours a day coding at their desks.
Yeah, I
right?
wonder if they're getting 70 grand a year.
Yeah, well, they're probably getting more, to be fair, but they're the ones who are actually doing the work.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The level of pay to work ratio
Yeah.
between them is going to be somewhat suspect.
Absolutely. There's no way they're only doing twice as much work as these women to get twice their pay.
There was another clip where it's just very strange that I was going to play, but I think I've made the point pretty clearly of what goes on in these things. The only other thing that the next clip was going to display was the fact that for some reason, apparently in LinkedIn, you can just bring your friends into the office.
Yeah, social club.
For no particular... You don't need to play the clip, John. I think I've made it clear enough. But as well as all this, it shows to me that these companies, Google, LinkedIn, all of these big tech giants, have such an enormous level of bloat and inefficiency in their business model. So I expect it may not, they probably wouldn't collapse entirely, but if it weren't for massive support that these companies get from the state and subsidies and such, they probably wouldn't be able to just employ people to sit around and do nothing, or they might have to restructure it a little bit because the article that I got up for this next, John, if we go over. just thank you, was just about how all of these tech companies receive massive subsidies, including Tesla got $54 billion. Google's parent company, Alphabet, got $766 million since 2000. And Alphabet obviously owns Google. LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. They don't have any details on Microsoft, but Microsoft is so in bed with the government. Obviously, they're going to be getting massive subsidies. And as far as I'm aware, this is basically corporate welfare so that the corporations can put overprivileged, upper middle class brats on an extended form of welfare.
I don't even know if it's fair to call them brats because they're not doing anything wrong. Like, they're not like the protesters.
Oh, yeah.
Bratty. But these are like just literally people who the concept of freedom would actually be terrifying for them because it means they wouldn't be able to get their chai latte in the morning and their orange water and their eucalyptus towel.
Yeah,
right?
If the government went smaller, my big company might not get all this money from the government, so they might not be able to give me all these freebies wherever I go.
Like these people are literally domesticated. I just find it incredible.
Yeah, like I say, I'm not doing this to dunk on this particular woman. She's only 22 years old, so she obviously doesn't know any better and has never experienced any real hardship in her life.
She probably doesn't know the rest of the world isn't like this,
No.
And again, thank you to her for showing us what it's like to be a young woman working in tech.
Yes.
I'm so oppressed.
I know, very much so.
Patriarchy's really holding you down.
Yeah, but that's all I've got for that one. But thank you very much for letting us know what it's like on the other side when you are able to burst through that glass ceiling, presumably.
Good luck.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as this premium article, Don't Use Woke Terminology by John Tangney, with a silver audio track for silver tier members. And you want to follow what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.